Today, we'll be talking about this part of Singapore that hasn't seen a residential plot in more than 40 years. This is LyndenWoods, let's go! Hi guys, my name is Vera and welcome back to another project analysis, and in today's video we'll be talking all about LyndenWoods, a residential plot that is located in a science park area. Now before I proceed on to the video, this is actually my QR code that links to my WhatsApp. Through this, usually I will update my clients about bounced out units, layout comparisons, or even things like just a simple property consultation. In this channel, I usually cover property content like case studies or even new launch project analysis like this one. So do subscribe to my channel if let's say you would like to be notified for the next video. So now coming to the project information for LyndenWoods, our developer is CapitaLand, okay, and they are actually the master developer, which I will touch on later. Address is located at 69 and 71 Science Park Drive, and they are located in District 5 in the RCR region in the Queenstown planning area. Now site area wise is close to 125,000 square feet, and over here we have 343 units which spans across 2 blocks of 24 stories, of which we have 2-story basement car park. Now for our basement car park, we actually have 70% of car park lots, which is a rare commodity in this area because other projects in the area is only up to 40%. Also, judging from how close we are to the MRT, 70% is actually very good. I think many of you have already heard of CapitaLand themselves through shopping malls, through their prestigious residential development like One Pearl Bank, Canning Hill Piers, and even award-winning projects like the Interlace and the Lynden. You can see that they actually don't scheme on the quality, which is exactly what they did for LyndenWoods show flat. So of course, agent has first dibs to looking at the show flats. And when I was there, I was actually super amazed because I could tell that CapitaLand and also the architect, right, they really put in a lot of thought in designing LyndenWoods itself. So just now I mentioned that CapitaLand is actually the master developer. What I mean by that? Now, an individual developer and a master developer, they actually have two very different goals. Master developer, just like CapitaLand in this area, they are actually in charge of overseeing the growth and the transformation of the entire science park area. So for the LyndenWoods plot itself, right, initially it was a commercial zone, but what CapitaLand actually did was to request for a change of use to URA to change from a commercial to a residential plot. I think just want to let you guys understand what does an individual developer do, which most of you have seen other projects that the developer is only in charge in one particular site. They actually focus on short-term goals, so their main goal is actually to maximize the profit from one site. For master developers on the other hand, like CapitaLand, they actually focus more on long-term goals because they are involved in transforming the entire precinct into a very livable space. So what CapitaLand actually aims for this area is to be a live, work, play hub. So technically the residents there, you do not have to leave the area because whatever you need, right, will all be given to you in that area. So that's why CapitaLand, right, they have to be very careful in terms of pricing the units here, as they are the ones that is staying invested in the success of this area. So technically, if you see it in another way, the pressure is actually more on them to make the entire area more attractive for people to come in. It is zoned from commercial to residential, and before that the area is already owned by CapitaLand. We do not know how much the land actually costs because this plot of land is actually not submitted via GLS tender lah. So we do not know how much CapitaLand actually bought that area. So what I'll actually be doing later is to compare with the nearby resale and also the existing new launches to sort of have a fair gauge on how much LyndenWoods would be priced lah. So now coming to the location map itself, you can see that LyndenWoods is actually located in the One North cluster. We are right beside a mall called Genio Mall. If let's say you guys have been scrolling TikTok, this is one of the viral malls lah. Very beautiful. It doesn't look like you are in Singapore actually. Okay, and then right across you have your Kent Ridge MRT station. So for LyndenWoods, we are actually the closest project that is very close to MRT, and in fact it's only a 6 minutes or shorter walk away depending on how long your leg is lah. Okay, and then we can see that we are very closely connected to the yellow line, and then just right above you have your Buona Vista, which have both your green and circle line. So actually, if you can see from this location map, right, we are actually very close to Grade A offices, which is District 5 is actually known for the rental itself lah. You can see we have NUS, NUH, and even schools like ACJC, Fairfield Methodist, and Singapore Polytechnic. You are actually connected to green spaces. So we are actually at the doorstep of Hort Park, Cambridge Park, and even further down you have your Mount Faber Park. So in terms of accessibility, right, we are actually just 2 minutes to One North MRT and Buona Vista MRT station. In terms of your MRT travel time from Cambridge MRT lah. And after that, we also just 4 minutes to Holland Village, 11 minutes to Harbourfront, and even 14 minutes to Jurong East. We can look further down, this is where CBD area is, okay? It is just a 15 minutes MRT travel time. And for those of you who drive, we are just 2 minutes to AYE and 5 minutes to MCE and CTE. Super well connected for those who drives and for those who takes the public transport. Okay, so now coming to the URA master plan itself, you can see that LyndenWoods is surrounded by blue plots lah. Okay, this orange plot here is LyndenWoods, which means residential, and the rest blue plots, they are actually business parks, which means that we are actually surrounded by office buildings. So after looking at this, right, there are actually two schools of thoughts. First of all, wow, if let's say I'm being surrounded by offices, meaning Monday to Friday, it will be a bit lively because this is where people come and work. But Saturday and Sunday will be very peaceful for me. And personally, for somebody who would rather come back home and unwind to somewhere peaceful, this is the perfect location. And there is also another school of thought whereby, wow, here is a bit too quiet. I want to have my neighborhood friendly vibes, you know? It really depends on different individuals at the end of the day, okay? So this is just something that you should take note of. And then right above, you have this red plot here, which is your NUH. So you're actually very closely connected to the medical centers. And then right below, right, you can see in orange 2.1 plot ratio. This is actually Normanton Park, which is not near MRT and amenities. And right above, we have your media circle, which is where Bloomsbury is located at the existing current new launch. Okay, so just now I mentioned that we are actually located right beside a mall. You can see here, right, that this is where LyndenWoods is located at. Right beside, we have your Genio Mall. Once you walk out, you actually have a sheltered walkway all the way linked to Cambridge MRT station. So for this, it actually takes you up to 6 minutes. So if let's say it's not raining or it's not sunny, you can actually cut across and you will actually reach Cambridge MRT station in no time lah. Okay, super convenient, accessibility is there. Now in terms of the facing, right, we have two different facing for LyndenWoods. How the architect, which is ADDP architect, very famous architect, right, how they actually design the building, right, is to have two kinds of facing, which is the north and the south facing. So what is good about north-south facing is that you have very good crosswind ventilation. When you are standing in the unit itself, it's actually going to be very windy lah. For those units who are facing south, right, this is actually the more premium facing, because if let's say you go for level 11 or 12 and above, you actually have your sea view. And for the units that are facing north, you are actually facing the AYE, the Ayer Rajah Expressway. What the developer did was actually quite smart, because they have their facilities over there, which is your 50-meter lap pool and also your court over there, which I will show you later. So what they did, right, was pretty smart, because when they put these facilities there, it actually adds to the setback area, which makes you further away from expressway, which then helps to reduce the noise that's coming from the road. So now coming to the unit mix, take note that we do not have one bedder here. We are starting from 2-bed 1-bath all the way to 4-bed premium, which we only have one stack and one size for 4-bed premium at 1,647 square feet, which is super big in today's market. One thing to take note is that LyndenWoods is not a harmonized project, so that means in terms of overall quantum, you'll be able to notice that it's a bit on a higher end, okay? But later we will talk about the indicative prices which the developer has already released as the time of filming. So for your 2-bedroom, you have 137 units, you have your 2-bed 1-bath and your 2-bed 2-bath, which comes in different configuration. So for a 2-bed 1-bath, 635 square feet is actually really big as compared to another new launch which I will share later. And then your 2-bed plus study, you have 850 to 883 square feet. This is super big because in Ori, your 850 square feet is already a 3-bedder in Ori. For your 3-bedroom, you have your 3-bed 2-bath and also your 3-bed plus guest at 1023 square feet, 1066 square feet and 1292 square feet. And last but not least, you have your 4-bedroom premium, which comes with your private lift at 1647 square feet with only 23 units. So now coming to the exciting part, our site plan. Before I dive right into the units first, right, let me just talk about the facilities. You can see here, this is AYE facing. So just now I mentioned that there is actually setback that is provided by the developer themselves. So what they did is they actually put your pool and your facilities over here, like your tennis court, your pickleball court, and you even have your facilities like your pet lawn and your amphitheater. So when they actually add these facilities, it adds to the setback, which helps to reduce the noise and makes it further away from AYE lah. So over here, this is where your guardhouse is located at, which is your main entrance lah, okay? For LyndenWoods, right, even though it's just 343 units with only 2 blocks, guess how many side gates they have? That's right, they have 2 side gates, which is super good because some developments super big, they only have 1 side gate, which is super inconvenient lah. So these side gates, right, you have 2, and this actually links you directly sheltered walk all the way to Cambridge MRT station. And for your bin center and substation, right, owners here do not have to worry because it is located in basement 1, which means that none of these units here will actually be facing the bin center and the substation. But one thing to take note is that the generator set is over here, number 5. So the only units that will be affected will be the stack in stack number 9. So now Science Park Drive facing, this is where your premium is at lah. You have your 4-bedder facing over here, which means that your 3-bedroom guest, your 4-bedroom, and also some of your 3-bedder here, right? And your 2-bed plus study, you are having a sea view. Okay, if let's say you look past level 12 and above. We have 2 blocks, which is block 69 and 71. But when you look from outside, right, it actually looks like there are 4 different blocks. But no, there are 2 blocks, okay? So each block, right, actually consists of 7 to 8 units. What the developer actually did was to make it into a point block design. This means that every unit is actually a corner unit. And how they actually link the 4 units over here to these 4 units over here is via a sky terrace, whereby every level you will have it. Every level you will have your sky terrace, which is where you can relax, you know, walk your dog and unwind over there. So what you see in other projects, right, usually there is no sky terrace that is being connected to the units, which means to say that you will have these 7 to 8 or even 11 units, right, all connected via one strip lah. Okay, which means to say that the units in between will be sandwiched. That means there will not be any windows in your kitchen and your toilet. So if let's say you would like to see the layouts, how much space there are in your different rooms, you can actually WhatsApp me at my number over here and I can send you the e-brochure. And if you would like a better gauge as to how the location is like, how big the unit actually feels, feel free to come down to the show flat, book a show flat viewing with me, and I will arrange an exclusive viewing for you. So now let's just look at block 69 itself. Block 69 itself, you actually have 4 different lifts. You have your 2 lifts over here, 2 lifts over here. Same goes for your block 71, 2 lifts here and 2 lifts here. Only 3 to 4 units are sharing 2 different lifts. So if let's say just so happen, these lifts over here break down, don't worry, you can cross the sky terrace over here for another functional lift. So the developer actually thought of spreading out the number of people in the development so that, you know, waiting time for the lift will not be as long. Okay, and in fact it will be super duper short because 3 to 4 units for 2 lifts, that is really very well thought out in my opinion. Okay, so now coming specifically to your block to block distance, you can see from block 71, your stack 13 and 14, you have a setback of about 41 meters. And then from block 69 to 71, 10 meters, which doesn't really matter even though it's quite close because you are not facing one another, you are actually facing the pool. So now coming to the facilities plan itself, you can see that we have a wide range of facilities. So for a 125,000 square feet of land, right, this is actually a lot of things being input for us, for the buyers over here. So what we have in LyndenWoods is actually full-fledged facilities. For example, you have your infinity lap pool, you have your co-working lounge, you have your pickleball court, you have your gym of course, your BBQ pit, and even your tennis court. So if let's say you'd like to see in details, all these, like I said, it's all in the e-brochure. WhatsApp me and I'll be able to send it to you lah. So some unique key points that I love about LyndenWoods is that, first of all, it's now south-facing. Second of all, every unit is actually given a free zip track. Correct, this is actually given by ZipTrack themselves, the actual brand ZipTrack. But take note that this is a manual one lah. So if let's say you want it to be a automated one, of course you can do that, you just have to liaise directly with the vendor themselves. So third of all is that the developer actually follows a Reno Zero concept, which means to say every unit have your ceiling fan. You also have your false ceiling, which comes with LED lights. And for the units that are north facing, which means that you are facing the AYE, the developer also put in something extra, which is double glazed windows, which helps to reflect the noise from the road. The last 2 points is that corner units, which is very good. Okay, it's not like your units are being sandwiched together, and you also have unblocked views. Chuan Park, located in the OCR region, there wasn't any residential development there, not until 13 years later. Okay, so there was 13 years of pent-up demand. Walking distance to MRT, your tenant pool over there is international school, and Kingsford actually sold at 76% on launch day with an average per square foot of about 2.6k PSF. Next one, we have your Ori, located in the RCR region, okay, in Toa Payoh. 9 years of pent-up demand, walking distance to MRT also. You have your tenant pool from your international school and also working expats. CDL actually performed super well at 86% sold on launch day with an average PSF of 2.7k per square foot. Now, LyndenWoods, first residential condo in more than 40 years, fully sheltered to MRT, near to amenities, right beside a mall. You have your large catchment of tenant pool to tap on from your Science Park, One North and your education belt. How much should the developer actually price it for? How much does it actually make sense to price LyndenWoods for? Indicative prices are out. We have your 2 bedrooms starting from 2.19 per square foot, 2 plus study at almost 2.3 per square foot, your 3 bedder also 2.3, and your 3 plus guest 2.2, 4 bed at 2.1k per square foot. This is actually a super attractive price because you are basically buying an RCR project at OCR price. Now, of course, these are all starting from prices, which means to say that these prices could be units that are on the lower floor or, facing the AYE. Okay, so let's say if you want to go for a mid-floor and a more premium facing, of course, you might be looking at a higher price. And furthermore, because LyndenWoods is a non-harmonized project, you are looking at an overall higher quantum. But to be honest, when the indicative prices were out, a lot of us were actually expecting it to be about 2.6 to 2.7 and even up to 2.8k per square foot. But with a starting from that is this low, especially when you are fully sheltered to MRT and you are so well connected to your amenities and your transportation is all there, with the starting from prices is actually considered super low. And if let's say you are getting your unit at about 2.4 to 2.5k per square foot, it is actually a very good deal. Let's take a look at the resale performance in the area. We have, first of all, the one nearest to us is Normanton Park at 1,840 units. This development, not near school, not near MRT, not even near shopping mall. Okay, it's basically not close to the main characters of One North. Okay, but look at how well they actually did. Very good performance at 97% profitable. Diving into the different unit types, Normanton Park, you have your 1 to 5 bedrooms, okay? You can see that for your 1 bedder, you profit about $160,000, your 2 bedder, $207,000, your 3 bedroom, $346,000, and your 4 bedrooms, $442,000. You can see here the profit margin actually increased by a lot the bigger your unit type is. For your 5 bedder, comparing to your 3 bedder, is almost twice the profit margin. So what does it show about the unit demand in the greater One North area? Next, we have your One North Eden. Walking distance to MRT, which is actually quite similar to LyndenWoods because it is walking distance to MRT. Transportation is in close proximity. It's a resale project, okay? 165 units, TOP in 2024. You can see that every unit here is actually 100% profitable. Excellent result, great performance. You can see that One North Eden, right? TOP 2024, 1 year ago, they're already hitting resale prices from 2.3 to 2.4k per square foot, almost hitting 2.5k per square foot already. Now, with LyndenWoods, you are near MRT, you are near amenities, you have your Science Park rejuvenation. If let's say LyndenWoods, right, your unit is launching below 2.6k per square foot and below, it is a super good deal. So in terms of profit-wise, LyndenWoods definitely has more potential to increase at a comparable resale price. One North Eden, they have 1 to 4 bedrooms. You can see that, again, we have to refer to our unit type demand. 4 bedrooms, already twice the profit margin compared to the 2 bedrooms over here. So this goes to show that there is resale demand for this type of pricing and unit type. Now let's talk about the existing new launches that is in the market around the area. Bloomsbury Residences, we are not near MRT, not near school, TOP 2029, total of 358 units, and as of time of filming, right, it is already 53% sold. Now, you can see the prices here. We are going from 2.6 to 2.7k per square foot already. Buyers are already accepting these prices over there. Now, in Blossoms by the Park, TOP 2027, 275 units. As of time of filming, 94% sold. We only have the 4 bedroom left, okay? And as you can see here, prices that are being accepted in that area is already close to 2.7k per square foot. The Hill at 1 North, okay, this is near Buona Vista MRT. TOP 2027, 142 units, 76% sold as of time of filming, and prices already crossed 2.7k per square foot. There are only 33 units left, and in May there are actually a lot of transactions ongoing for both Hill at 1 North and also Bloomsbury residences, which means to say that there is still ongoing demand in this area. So as I mentioned earlier in this video, where we are located at, right, District 5, we are actually known for our rental because there are a lot of grade A offices over here. Later on, I will show you who are actually our tenant pool. So for our 2-bed 1-bath, right, and our 2-bed 2-bath, there will be a lot of investors that will be looking at this unit type. Now, I've actually put Bloomsbury 2-bed 1-bath and LyndenWoods 2-bed 1-bath laid out together for a fair comparison. Now, Bloomsbury at 570 square feet and LyndenWoods 2-bed 1-bath at 635 square feet. So there is actually already a space difference of 65 square feet. Now, for Bloomsbury 570, right, they really transacted at 1.339 million all the way to 1.45 million at about 2.3 to 2.5k per square foot. So, if let's say LyndenWoods, we are able to get 2.1k per square foot, of course this is if your Q number is very good lah. But if let's say we are able to get about 2.4 to 2.5k per square foot, it is really very good because first of all, you are located right next to MRT, and tenants wise, they will be looking for, first thing that they will look out for is the convenience and the amenities nearby. 2-bed 1-bath, right, 635 square feet is actually very spacious in today's market. So the reason why I actually put out this 2-bed 1-bath unit type for you guys to see is because 2-bed 1-bath unit type, this is actually very appealing for investors, and especially because we are located in a prime area for rental, which is District 5. This is an important information for you, which is there's actually a lack of supply in your 1 North area for your 2-bed 1-bath. And in fact, if you actually go and take a look, right, 1 North Eden and Blossoms by the Park, they do not have this 2-bed 1-bath layout. Maybe this is why Bloomsbury 2-bed 1-bath unit type was actually the first to sold out, because of the lack of supply in this 1 North area. Now, of course, being investors, the first thing that we want to look out is to maximize our rental yield, which is why, like I mentioned, if let's say you are going to get your 2-bed 1-bath LyndenWoods at about 2.4 per square foot, then it is something very good because from there you can actually maximize your rental yield. So the entry price that we actually go in, right, is actually very important. So on booking day itself, if let's say you are seeing your 2-bed 1-bath going up to as high as 2.6 to 2.7k per square foot, then I might say that it might be a bit risky because you have your nearby competition, which is Bloomsbury, selling at only 2.3 to 2.5k per square foot. The price gap itself is something that you have to consider first when you want to buy something for investment. So if let's say LyndenWoods is going at a very attractive price, 2.4k per square foot or 2.5k per square foot and below, and LyndenWoods is being close to transportation and amenities, definitely is a huge plus for tenants one. Okay, so definitely this will make it easier to rent out as compared to Bloomsbury and your Momentum Park, whereby it's a bit further off from the MRT and your amenities. Okay, so now coming to the rental analysis for your nearby projects. Over here I put 1 North Eden, Momentum Park and 1 North Residences. So for your 1 North Eden, your 2-bedroom is already commanding as high and as close to 6k per square foot. For your 3-bedder 7.2, 4-bedder at 8.8k per square foot. Momentum Park for your 4-bedder already going as high as 9k. And for your 1 North Residences, TOP so long ago, 2005, 2-bedder can already fetch as high as 6.5k, 3-bedder at 7.9k, and 4-bedder at 8.5k. Now for a new project, usually there will be about a 5% more rental premium. But since LyndenWoods location is very good, you have your MRT, you have your connectivity and your convenience lah basically. Don't be surprised if let's say the rental premium can fetch a lot more than 5% than the current performance. Then again, it all goes back to your purchase price. If let's say you want to maximize your rental yield, number one tip is to always keep your purchase price low. Wow, so now coming to your huge tenant pool is all readily available from you from the nearby areas, your 1 North vicinity, your Science Park, NUH, NUS, and this is actually your Grade A offices. You have your Shopee, your Dyson, your NUS, your Apple, your Johnson & Johnson, MediaCorp, you even have Resale and Seagate. This goes to show that there is easily more than 50,000 packs of workforce in the area itself. And with 343 units, technically, do you think it's easy to find a tenant over here? Will it then be very easy for you to have a huge tenant competition in this area? And remember, LyndenWoods, connectivity and convenience is there compared to your nearby new launch and resale projects. Now, at the end of the day, before we actually put our money into something, it is very important to consider our future exit. Where will our future demand come from? Your answer is, it's coming from your $1 million HDBs from Clementi, Dawson and Queenstown area. So nowadays, I think you can see on the news, there is really a lot of $1 million HDBs coming into the market. And fortunately for us, these $1 million HDBs are at close proximity to us. First of all, you have your Sky Park at Dawson, MOP at about 2025, 2026, total about 810 units. You also have your Sky Oasis, Sky Residences, Clementi North Arc, Clementi Crest and even Sky Park. So this adds up to about 5,000 plus units for a BTO that is going to MOP from 2025 to 2028. I have some clients who have some concerns regarding facing expressway. They will ask like, hey Vera, if let's say I'm buying a unit that's facing AYE, does that mean next time it will be tougher for me to sell as compared to another owner who is selling their unit that is at a much premium facing? I have a very good example for you at Clement Canopy 3-bedder. We have this owner who owns this unit at 38th floor, not facing AYE. He actually profited $561,000. Now we look at the one that's facing AYE. 10 floor lowers are at 28th floor. This person actually profited $121,000 more at 682K. So what does this mean? Is it really because, oh, you have a poorer facing means you will have a much lower profit? At the end of the day, it really all boils down to your entry price. That's why at booking day itself, the pressure is going to be very high. If let's say you've been to new launch booking days, I'm pretty sure you will understand this. So you will need someone that is able to help guide you through on the booking day process. Because the last thing that we will want to do is to overpay for a unit that is not really worth overpaying for. And now we have our price matrix, starting from the prices that is our starting from and all the way to 2.7k per square foot. So if let's say you would like to do a rough gauge, right, just take a look at this price matrix. Most likely we'll be looking at about the 2.4 to 2.55k per square foot. Okay, so this is the price that you might want to look at to also help yourself to be better prepared on the booking day itself. Then again, it all really depends on the per floor jump. Of course, we do not know what is the price as of today. We will only know it on booking day itself. If let's say you need help with a certain price analysis for a certain layout or a certain facing, feel free to drop me a WhatsApp and I'll be happy to guide you over Zoom or a cup of coffee. To sum it up, I personally feel that LyndenWoods is a safe and smart purchase. First of all, it's because it is backed by a very well-known developer called CapitaLand. Because of CapitaLand being a master developer, this whole plan is actually integrated with a larger master plan to rejuvenate and transform the entire precinct into a live, work and play hub. Okay, so this is where all your convenience is connected. You are also directly linked to the key MRT interchange, which is your Kent Ridge MRT station, and you have close proximity to NUS, NUH and the Biopolis. And with fewer residential blocks in the area, it means less foot traffic. Personally, I would love that because I would want to come back from work with somewhere peaceful. And last but not least, why I feel that LyndenWoods is a safe and smart purchase is because of the developer's confidence. Developer CapitaLand will not be launching a premium residential plot if let's say they do not have confidence in the long-term transformation in this area. This is why I mentioned at the start that when CapitaLand is the master developer, I think it is good because what they want to do is to actually transform the entire precinct. So from there, we can actually see transformation and growth. And furthermore, they also changed from a commercial plot to a residential plot in a business park zone. I think that is a very ballsy move if you ask me. Okay, so price is right. Near MRTs, you have your amenities. I think people can buy for either own stay and investment. And with that, I have come to the end of my LyndenWoods analysis. If you like this video, don't forget to help me to like and subscribe to this channel. Last but not least, we have your preview from 28 June all the way to the 8th of July where you have your check cut-off date. Okay, you can WhatsApp me or you can follow me on my Instagram over here. Till then, I'll see you in my next one. Bye!